Hi and welcome everyone. Tennis-specific muscle training while trying to learn the filmography of Martin Scorsese's documentaries. The exercises are adjusted for me, so if you follow along with the exercises, do it at your own pace, and overall, it's at your own risk to participate in the exercises. So the first ones are New York City Melting Point, the documentaries made by Martin Scorsese. New York City Melting Point, and then Street Scenes 1970 and Italianamerican. The first exercise, feet move and shoulder width apart, and breathe in, go down, and breathe out, up. And breathe in again, and out. And in, and out through the mouth, and in through the nose. And out. And that was the beginning. New York City Melting Point, Street Scenes 1970, and Italianamerican. Now the Last Waltz and American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince. The Last Waltz and American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince. American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince. The next exercise, you stand good on the first leg, the other one comes a bit up, the foot is flexed, and now you go down and you try to stay as tall as you can with the left foot, not completely straight through, but tall. And you try to keep go not to the side, but stay even line with the hips. And try to strengthen the hamstring of a standing leg. New York City, Melting Point, Street Scenes 1970, and Italianamerican. And then The Last Waltz and American Boy, a story of Stephen Prince, a profile of Stephen Prince. American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince. Do only as many as you can do controlled and concentrate. So this can be by far already enough. New York City, Melting Point. Street Scenes 1970 and Italianamerican. The Last Waltz and American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince. And the last one of the second block is a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. A personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. A personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. A personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. So the second block is The Last Waltz, American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince, and a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. A personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. The first block, New York City. Change the leg. Now with the other leg, the same. Stand good. Come up, foot flexed, and go back and stay to that position and train the hamstring of a standing leg. And do only as many as you can do good. Concentrated and controlled. And then rest. First block, New York City, Melting Point, Street Scenes 1970, and Italianamerican. The first block, New York City, Melting Point, Street Scenes 1970, and Italianamerican. And the second block, The Last Waltz, American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince, and a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. And let's take the new ones. My voyage to Italy, feel like going home, feels like going home, I think. Feels like going home, and lay by the sea the Statue of Liberty. My voyage to Italy, feels like going home, and Lady by the Sea, Statue of Liberty. Lady by the Sea, the Statue of Liberty. So the third block. My journey to Italy, feels like going home, and Lady by the Sea, a Statue of Liberty. So from the beginning, New York City, melting point, street scenes 1970 and Italianamerican. And then The Last Waltz, American Boy, a profile of Stephen Prince, and a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. And now the next block. My Voyage to Italy, feels like going home, and Statue of Lady by the Sea, the Statue of Liberty. Lady by the Sea, the Statue of Liberty. And now, No Direction Home, Bob Dylan. And then Shine a Light. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, and then Shine a Light. Now next exercise, the feet are more than shoulder apart, pointing a bit to the outside. This is just stand good, and now the arms go to the side and to the other side. And give it a little accent. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, and Shine a Light. Maybe a bit faster. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, and Shine a Light. And the next two of this block, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. Now down, the same. A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, and Shine a Light. A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. And now up. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. And now behind the head. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. And now downwards and upwards together with hands. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. Not front, but down with force, don't smash into the back, just gentle. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. Here it is. Now the next exercise. Hands together and upwards. Again, don't smash anything. Just gentle as far as it goes. And now to the side and circle around the whole surrounding the scaffold. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and from backwards and Public Speaking. And that were these exercises. No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia and Public Speaking. And now we have the last block. George Harrison, Living in the Material World and the 50-Year Argument. George Harrison, Living in the Material World and the 50-Year Argument. Both hands out, fists, and then inside with the fists. If you are unfamiliar with this exercise, start slowly and look how your body or your wrists will respond to it. And upwards. George Harrison, side, down, inside. And now in the other direction. Start slowly down to the much and do only as much as you can do good, rather less. You want just to strengthen the muscles, not bring them onto exhaustion. And this way, George Harrison, Living in the Material World. George Harrison, Living in the Material World and the 50-Year Argument. And then Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. The arm out, shoulders aligned, the arm out, right angle, and now down with the wrist and push with moderate force against it. Again, if you're unfamiliar with this exercise, then start slowly and look how your wrist will respond to this exercise. George Harrison, Living in the Material World, the 50-Year Argument. Now from the outside to the inside. 50-Year Argument. And from the top. Rolling Stones Revue, Bob Dylan, and from the bottom upwards at your own pace. And again, less when you can. Just strengthen the muscles, not bring them under exhaustion. Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. And then Personality Crisis, One Night Only, and the last one, Beatles 64, they only produced. Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. The same with the left hand, right angle, and down, and push against it. And again, if you're unfamiliar with the exercise, start slowly and look how your wrist will respond to it. Other side. And from the top. Rolling Thunder Revue, a Bob Dylan story by Martin Scorsese. Personality Crisis and Beatles 64. And upwards. And that's it, that was the last exercise. Now just the finishing exercise. Again, we want from the beginning, breathe in and out. And in and out. And out. In, out. And close the legs. And we have ended probably with the exercises, but we're running short on time. George Harrison, Living in the Martial World, 50-Year Argument, Rolling Thunder Revue, Bob Dylan story, Martin Scorsese, and Personality Crisis, One Night Only, Beatles 64. Trying to read them fast. New York City, Melting Point, Street Scenes, 1970, Italianamerican, The Last Waltz, American Boy, Profile of Stephen Prince, a personal journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies, My Voyage to Italy, Feel Like Going Home, Lady by the Sea, The Statue of Liberty, No Direction Home, Bob Dylan, Shine a Light, A Letter to Elia, Public Speaking, George Harrison, Living in the Martial World, 50-Year Argument, Rolling Thunder Revue, Bob Dylan, Martin Scorsese, Personality Crisis, One Night Only, Beatles 64. Thank you very much. Until next time.